Welcome to English Radio Barranquilla. Bienvenidos a English Radio Barranquilla. Last week, we talked about creating community gardens. Today, we'll talk about food.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for inviting me to try local food. People around town are so friendly, welcoming, and generous people. They're so full of good vibes. Where are we going today?
What would you like, Linda? What do you regularly eat? Have you tried typical dishes here?
Well, I try to have a balanced and healthy diet. I eat proteins such as chicken and fish. I eat carbohydrates like rice and potatoes, and I have tried yuca. I love eating vegetables, so salads are a big part of my diet.
Okay, let's go to a place I know. There are also delicious desserts and ice cream.
That's great. I have a sweet tooth too. I eat lots of chocolate and ice cream. I put a lot of toppings on my ice cream, like whipped cream, chocolate syrup, sprinkles, chocolate chunks. It's my favorite thing to eat.
Let's go and try some street food. Barranquilla is popular for its salchipapas. Beto told me about a great spot here. Hey Beto, what should we eat?
Well, I can take you to Juancho's place, Donde Juancho. I love the hot dogs there, the hamburgers, but my favorite one is salchipapas. My favorite thing about salchipapas is eating with my friends. We have a lot of fun going to restaurants and ordering massive salchipapas. I know it sounds a bit exaggerated and crazy, but believe it, it's quite an experience. I know it sounds a bit exaggerated and crazy, but believe it, it is quite an experience. I know you know what I'm talking about.
That's junk food. Is there anything healthy I could eat there? I'm trying to become a vegetarian.
I once tried to follow a vegetarian diet, but it was under my doctor's advice. I really like it though. I think I would be open to being a vegetarian someday. That's great, Jose.
I wish I could be too. Sometimes I've tried to quit meat, especially red, but it's not easy. I have a lot of friends that are vegetarians and vegans.
I know that your family back in the States love going on picnics. Do you still have that family tradition?
I love picnics. It's a great activity to spend time with friends. Every person brings something to the picnic, which means there will be a lot of food. We go to a park near our house where we can see the lake. There are ducks, birds, squirrels. It's beautiful. You should go and visit someday.
Activity 1. Complete the information. Completa la información.
Hi, sir. Can you bring us the menu, please?
That's great. I would like to have some.
No meal is complete on the coast or through most of Colombia without patacones. You can add suero to make it irresistible. Let's order the chuzo desgranado. It's delicious.
Chuzo? What's that?
The chuzo, also known as a pincho in other places in our country, is a very common street food here in Barranquilla. It is a mix of things, but generally has bollo, a yuca starchy substance, either grilled chicken or butifarra, lettuce, crunchy toppings, a sauce mixed with mayonnaise, and then top off with pineapple sauce. The chuzo is Barranquilla's version of late-night drunk food or munchies. After going out with friends, many Barranquilleros go to small restaurants or street vendors to have chuzos. It is also a healthy option to eat if you don't order a desgranado with mayonnaise and fries, of course.
I would like a butifarra chuzo. It's a mix of pork, beef, garlic, pepper, and a couple of other ingredients. The actual origin of this sausage is in Soledad, a small city just outside of the city of Barranquilla. Vendors sell this popular dish as a snack Routine soccer matches at the Metropolitano Stadium in Barranquilleros love it.
That sounds great. I would like a butifara chuzo with an arepa. I've tried it in Venezuela once. I love everything made of corn, especially in my breakfast. There is nothing better to accompany huevo perico or the Colombian version of scrambled eggs than with an arepa.
Arepa de yuca has also become very popular. There are many varieties of arepa and some even have cheese, fillings or other things stuffed in the middle. One of them is called trifásica. If you are on the run and want a quick breakfast, arepas are an easy option. Well, I must confess that I can cook. By the way, who usually does the cooking in your family, Evelyn?
We used to have a person who helped us cook our meals. Everyone in my family goes to work, but now my mother is living with us. She loves to cook. I also help her a lot, and sometimes I make a whole meal for my family on my own. My food is delicious too.
This was delicious. I'm recommending this place to my friends. I went to eat out last month and I ate a shrimp cocktail and I got kind of sick. I think I'm allergic to seafood. Linda, are you allergic to any type of food?
No, thankfully I'm not allergic to anything. Do you like eating in restaurants or do you prefer eating at home?
I prefer to go to restaurants. I enjoy the whole restaurant experience. I also consider myself as a foodie. A foodie is a person who appreciates good cuisine and enjoys it a lot. So that's why I like visiting different restaurants. I really love food. One day, a friend told me this. Food is the ingredient that brings people together. I really believe this.
One of the most important things that identify Barranquilla is its food. People gather in families, eating delicious dishes, or dine out with friends at any time of the day. What do you miss most from Barranquilla, Jose?
Sancocho or sancocho de gallina.
Sancocho? What's that?
Sancocho is a soup consisting of chicken or fish, corn, potato, yuca, and other vegetables. The soup can come in a variety of forms and sizes. You can have sancocho in many places throughout the Caribbean.
Well, herein you can order a corrientazo, corriente, and it almost comes accompanied with some sort of sancocho. Here in Barranquilla, it is probably the most common form of soup.
Activity 2. Complete the missing information. What do Miss Linda and her friends like to eat? Completa la información sobre los gustos de Miss Linda y sus amigos.
Hello, students. Today we are going to talk about what people eat in other countries. Please listen first and take notes. Then answer the questions. Guillo, please read this out loud.
People in France eat different types of food. Typical food includes crepes, seafood, bread, cheese, and beef. French people also like potatoes. Italians are most famous for their pizza, pasta, and tomato sauce. Pasta is usually served with different types of sauces. They're also well known for their herbs in cooking. Cheese is very important in Italian cuisine. The most famous are Parmesan and mozzarella cheese.
Great, Guillo, thank you. Daniela, can you please continue?
In Argentina, the most popular dish is beef. It can be prepared in many ways. People in Argentina eat meat, potatoes, and green vegetables. They have dinner at 9 p.m. In India, they eat bread and rice. Some eat chicken and fish, but many Indians are vegetarians. They use spices in their foods. Spicy food can cool them in hot weather and warm their bodies in cold weather.
Excellent, thank you, Daniela. Guillo, can you read the last paragraph for me?
Germans eat a lot of meat. Potatoes are very important and are prepared in different ways in each region. Fruits are combined with dishes. Desserts made out of apple are very popular. They enjoy bread with every meal.
Thanks, Guillo, that was great.
Very interesting class, Miss Linda. We learned about the food people eat in France, India, Germany, about the famous types of cheese in Italy, the time they usually have dinner in Argentina. Eating habits are different around the world. Listen, students, for English Week, we are going to have a special activity. It's like Master Chefs, so I would like you to make a video at home cooking your favorite typical dish.
Wow, Miss Carmen. I love that activity. I will choose coconut rice.
Well, I'm going to try to learn how to make patacones.
Activity 3. Now is the moment to complete Activity 3. Ahora es momento de completar la actividad 3. Read the recipe for patacones. Look for another recipe online and practice reading at home. You can also cook it and share the video with your teacher. Lee la receta de patacones. Busca otra receta y practica la lectura en casa. También puedes prepararla y compartir el video con tu profesor. Patacones. Ingredients. For 8 patacones, you will need 2 large green plantains, vegetable oil for frying, and salt to taste. First, peel the plantains and cut them. In a medium pot, and add vegetable oil to cover the plantain slices and heat the oil. Add the plantain slices to the heated oil. Deep fry for about 3 to 4 minutes per side. Carefully remove the plantain with a spoon and place them on a plate with paper towels to absorb excess oil. Let the patacones cool for 3 minutes. With a flat pot cover, press well on the pieces of plantain. Then, dip each slice in salted water and fry for an additional 3 minutes on each side. Remove the patacones with a spoon and transfer them to a plate with paper towels to absorb oil. Sprinkle with salt to taste, transfer to a serving plate, and serve hot with guacamole, suero, or agao. Listen to a foodie talking about cuisine in Barranquilla.
Hi everybody, my name is Andy Martelo and I'm also known as El Foodie. Today I'm going to talk to you about Barranquilla's rich gastronomical heritage and how can you understand a culture by their food and their gastronomy. So basically you can learn anything you need to know about a place by what their people eat. For example, if the people in certain regions of the world eat fish, you know there's a lake nearby, there's a river nearby, or there's an ocean nearby. So in that sense, you can get an actual glimpse of how's their economy, how's their geography, everything you can get out of what people eat, their culture, everything is based on what you eat. So what happens here in Barranquilla? Here in Barranquilla, we have a cultural melting pot of different cultures, of different terrains, of different everything. That's why we have such a marked influence on what we eat. We are a port city. That means everybody that's gonna go anywhere has to come through Barranquilla. That's why we have so many Italian descendants, Middle Eastern descendants, and that's really shown in our food. If you can do an exercise, just think about the first 5 restaurants that pop onto your mind. It will probably be Arab food, Italian food, pasta, pizza, American food. We are really influenced by the people who came here many years ago. So there's a cultural melting pot between, like a real large mix between all those people that came through here many years ago and they left their footprint in their food, and we've combined it with our own local food, with fish, with meat, with suero, with yuca, with potatoes. We've taken a bit of every culture that's come around our city and we've made them our own. That's what many cities do, and that's what many cities that are gastronomically rich do. For example, in Lima, they have Asian inspiration, they have Asian immigration, they take all of the other cultures and make them their own. That's why it's one of the best foods in the world. If you take a look at New Orleans, also they have a French culture embedded in them. They have Creole, like African American culture, and that's why it's such a rich and flavorful cuisine. So when you analyze Barranquilla, you have to understand what are the immigrants that came here and how we've appropriated and made them typical Barranquillense dish. For example, the tahine. The tahine is a Middle Eastern food, but you can say it's a comida típica of Barranquillan people. You can say the chuzo desgranado is also a perfect example. It's one of the many foods we eat here in Barranquilla, and it's like a cultural appropriation of American fast food with our own twist. So every time you're gonna travel, every time you're watching another city and you want to understand a lot more of the culture, see what they eat, it really makes a huge difference, and it puts you in the other person's shoes, so that way you can get a glimpse of how they live, how they understand food, and how they understand the world through what they eat. I hope it was helpful. My name is Andy Martelo, and thank you for your time.
We asked some people about their favorite typical dish in Barranquilla. Les preguntamos a varias personas acerca de su plato favorito en Barranquilla.
Hi everyone, my name is Aiden Viloria, and today I'll be answering what's my favorite typical food in Barranquilla. I love almost everything, but for breakfast I like to have papas rellenas, carimañolas, arepas or empanadas, and also deditos. For lunch I like to have mote de queso, arroz con pollo, which we have that almost in every party, and for seafood I like to have mojarra frita con patacones or boca chico. For dinner I like to have bollo de mazorca con queso costeño or bollo de angelito. They both are great and taste delicious. For desserts, I love brazo de reina. And that's it. Thank you.
Welcome, Alex, to English Radio Barranquilla. How do you recognize a barranquillero?
All I could think about was there's so many things that can be fried. Okay, plantains, yuca, and even an egg inside of an arepa. It's incredible. And besides the fried food, I was very impressed by the diversity of fruits. In Barranquilla, there are fruits that I have never seen anywhere else. For example, corozo, zapote, níspero, tomate de árbol, and also uchuva. I don't have a word in English for any of those fruits, so it's hard to talk about them to my family and friends in the United States. Because there are so many incredible fruits, it's really easy to make fruit juice. I loved buying curuba juice with milk at the beach or having a lulao at the mall. In the United States, natural fruit juice is often hard to find, or you have to make it at home. The juice they sell in the United States is not like the juice in Colombia.
What was your first impression when trying typical food in Barranquilla? Describe how food and culture influence lifestyle.
Street food is always very interesting, and I think the most common street foods I saw in Colombia were chuzo and arepas. Because lunches are so big in Colombia, some nights for dinner I just ate some chuzo or an arepa that I bought from a restaurant or a street vendor. In Colombian culture, lunch is the biggest meal of the day, whereas in the United States, our lunches are smaller and our dinners are the biggest meals of the day.
Thank you, Alex. Si desean aprender más sobre el inglés con el profesor Alex Bear, pueden encontrar unos videos informativos en YouTube con Bear English, B-A-R-E, y también en TikTok.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to English Radio Barranquilla. Please complete your worksheet with your teacher's help. Gracias por escuchar a English Radio Barranquilla. Ahora puedes completar las actividades con la ayuda de tu profesor. Este es un programa realizado por la Alcaldía de Barranquilla y el Instituto de Idiomas de la Universidad del Norte, con el apoyo de Uninorte FM Stereo. Hace parte de la serie English Radio Barranquilla, que tiene una duración de 10 episodios.